this morning we announced probably one of our better drill holes for this season, 38.5 meters of 4 grams per ton gold, including 1.9 meters of 39 grams per ton gold. Very significant, and that was more of an infill drill hole to kind of delineate that high-grade zone within that Trapper gold target.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. Joining me is Michael Rapsch. He's Vice President for Investor Relations at Brixton Metals. Michael, very good to speak with you. For new investors who might not know Brixton Metals yet, could you give us a quick overview of the company and its main projects?
Certainly. Thanks for having me on the show again, Stephen. Brixton Metals is a junior copper gold explorer, well-funded and currently drilling. Actually, our drill program is coming to an end for this season. But there's actually really three things that investors should know is that, as I just mentioned, we are drilling for new discoveries for copper and gold, already had discoveries in the past. Secondly, BHP, the world's largest miner, is our largest shareholder. And thirdly, we are looking to create value by monetizing our non-core assets, such as Hog Heaven in Montana, United States, and the Atlan Goldfields project here in BC. Those two projects we have been attracting good partners in the industry with Ivanhoe Electric and Eldorado Gold. These two companies both signed earning agreements on those two projects.
Michael, you've just reported new drill results from the Trapper gold target. What do these latest results tell you about the scale and potential of this zone?
The latest results that Brixton has reported were actually, in my view, very significant. So when you look at the Thorn Project here in British Columbia of Canada, that is our flagship project. It is quite large. It is over 2,900 square kilometer in terms of size, and it sits on the same geological trend as the Golden Triangle. As many of the viewers may know, it's a very prolific area where two existing mines already producing gold and many other deposits have been found. And the latest results are from one target within that large project called Trapper. And we were quite successful by drilling this target and other targets, but the results show us that we were able to extend the southern limits of that Trapper main mineralized zone. Not as high grade as the previous years in terms of gold grades, but the grade and the continuity is actually holding up. That said, this morning we announced probably one of our better drill holes for this season, 38.5 meters of 4 grams per ton gold, including 1.9 meters of 39 grams per ton gold. Very significant, and that was more of an infill drill hole to kind of delineate that high-grade zone within that Trapper gold target.
You've completed over 6,000 meters of drilling this season, Michael, with visible gold in several pending holes. What are you hoping to learn from the remaining assays, and how could they shape next season's plans?
So what we announced back in May was a 10,000 meter program. Now we were actually quite successful cutting the cost per meter, which allowed us to actually drill an additional 2,500 meters. So the entire program for 2025 consists of 12,500 meters in 56 holes. And as I mentioned earlier, we drilled and we focused here on three targets. One is Trapper, which we just mentioned. The other one is called Catalyst. It's a copper gold porphyry target that was newly discovered at the end of last season and has never been drilled before. We conducted an IP survey. We extended our soil or rock sampling grid and delineated basically 5 drill holes which have been drilled. So those results are also still pending. And then we went back to the Camp Creek, where we had a Camp Creek copper porphyry discovery, and we drilled there as well, and kind of drill tested those more shallow gold mineralization that is found closer to surface. So all of these most of these results are still forthcoming and pending. And with success, obviously, and that's for sure at Trapper, it will be warranting to go back there and keep drilling, keep extending the main mineralized zone and infill drilling. So that's really the strategy for this year, was to drill shallow holes near surface, extend mineralization, and yeah, that's basically what we're looking to do for next year.
And as you wrap up this year's drilling season, what key milestones or catalysts should investors be watching out for in the months ahead?
So with the season coming to an end, really with the Thorn Project, your main activity or drill season is from May till October. As a matter of fact, as we speak, we have a small skeleton group team at the camp on the Thorn Project, and they are just closing all the buildings, winterizing everything. But what will happen over the next 2 months, or what investors can expect, is that all of the remaining drill assets that we have just talked about are still going to come to market, and as the lab, provides them with us, right? So, Trapper, we will be seeing another 17 holes coming to market, and then, from the Catalyst target and some additional holes from that Can Creek target area. So more news in terms of drilling results to come out over the next 2.5 months.
Michael, I hope you'll keep us updated with progress. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thanks for having me again.
That's Michael Rapsch. He's the Vice President of Investor Relations at Brixton Metals.